Let me introduce the next speaker, Dr. VenkataKesavan. He will be talking on the topic, the future of physical libraries in the digital era, success principles and strategies. And a brief introduction about him. Dr. VenkataKesavan graduated from the University of Madras, have obtained a master's as well as MPhil degree in Library and Information Science from the Annamalai University. In October 2014, he was awarded with Doctor of Philosophy degree in the Library and Information Science from University of Mumbai. And he has over 25 years of rich experience in modern and world-class library information services management. And he had successful stints at the Dhirubhai Ambani Resource Center, Reliance Group, Mumbai, and head of Library and Information Science Services, British Council, South India. And also he was head of MAG India, Mudra Communications Limited, and he had worked for several reputed organizations such as EDI, Gujarat Samachar, and Atria. Currently, he is working with Times of India Group as General Manager and Head, Times Archives and Knowledge Center, Mumbai.
First of all, I would like to thank IMSC for holding this event in honor of my longtime professional friend, Dr. Paul Pondian. And my memory takes me back to Atira, where I worked in Ahmedabad in 1992. That is the time he came to InflibNet. Since then, I know Dr. Paul Pondian on and off. And I just like, in the evening anyway, we're going to talk about him. But before that, I would like to say only one thing about him. I always seen him as a simple and humble library professional. He only bothered about work. No show up, but he knows how to showcase his work. That's what I liked from him. And wherever he went, he made a mark about himself, as well as he added value to the organization where he worked. And also he has enriched our profession. Congratulations, Paul. Now, straight away coming to my topic today. In fact, I would like to appreciate Professor Sinha for choosing this theme, the role of physical library in the era of internet. Internet started maybe about 20 years back. We are living in the era of digital era currently, and it's being dominated by AI now. That's what I asked him a question. Many people today think that once ChatGPT comes, you don't need a library. Because particularly students community, they think that you just get on with this, put a query, whatever answer you want, you can get that, and you can write your assignment summary and get on with your things. That's how they feel, but it's not correct. It's going to take time. That's what he already assured. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Satyanarayana as an opening batsman today, scoring a century, making my job much easier. As usual, your high-tech presentation, we really enjoyed. And coming to my topic, I just started looking into the theme, the future of physical libraries in the digital era, and success principles and strategies. In fact, it should be survival principles. I'm going to share my own case study, how we are surviving in this digital era of almost for the last 20 years, ever since internet came in, e-paper, and things like that. So this is all about. And here is my presentation outline. Briefly, I'll talk about physical library and information service in the digital era. The need for transformation of physical libraries, because without transformation, we cannot survive. We talked about evolution. We need to evolve, and we need to transform every now and then. Then, symbolically, I identified 7 successful success strategies. If you want to run a library today, tomorrow, in future, you need to focus on certain things. First one being your core philosophy of your library. Second one being your customers, who are all your customers and what are their information needs. Then what sort of content, information sources that you want to facilitate access to. Then what kind of convergence of technology, users, and resources and facilities that you need to make use. Then what kind of cost, because if you want to run a library, it's a support center in any organization, you need to maintain your cost. Then what kind of communication tools that you are supposed to make use to reach out to your users. Then finally, what kind of skills and competencies that you need to equip your library stock. Then I will also talk about some of the best practices that are working for us so that others can also make use of it. Maybe it's already working for you as well. And I will also touch upon what are the benefits when you transform your library services, what benefit it gives to your organization, your users, and your other communities. Then wherever you work in a library, we have a lot of issues and challenges. I will touch upon based on my own experience here. Then finally, I'll share a few concluding remarks. Coming to physical library and information services in the digital era. Because we all know that maybe for the last 30 years, 25 years, you are working in the field, libraries have taken a sea change. What we used to have as a physical library, you have a physical library, periodical section, reference section, back volume section, and things like that. Slowly it moved to hybrid library, where you had digital resources on one side, you had physical resources on the other side, which is what we call hybrid library. Then we also started having digital resources. For example, like I can give an example, like EBSCO, when it was started, we used to get multi-set CD-ROMs. You need to have a CD tower, you need to install a server within your organization, which is an example for a digital library. Then we moved on to online library. Ever since internet came in, we could subscribe to e-resources, give access, users are anywhere, anytime. You can facilitate access to them. That is what is online library. Now today we are talking about virtual libraries also. You can be anywhere, or your mobile phone is enough to get access to your library material. That is the journey that we have seen so far. And whatever it may be, what is our central role? Libraries, wherever we exist, in whichever mode you are there, we are supposed to select, collect, process, facilitate access to high-quality information sources to your users. That did not change even today, which is where we need to focus. Particularly when COVID-19 came, we all know the kind of struggle that libraries and user communities, libraries were closed. We could not give access to physical resources. Thanks to our various innovation that we did in various libraries, we had a lot of online resources people could still get access to. It did not bother them. And also, like as libraries today, information is everywhere. 24/7 people have got access to information, particularly in social media, fake information, unverified content, which is where we as libraries need to help our users to overcome those infodemic, which is why I coined a term called infodemic. And particularly like when pandemic lockdown, somewhere between 2020 to 2022 restrictions, and people are struggling. Whether you are a research scholar sitting here, or a professor, somebody working in a corporate sector, or a journalist sitting there, getting access to information was very crucial for them, but they could not get access to. Which is where, again, the role of libraries, wherever we worked, we played a very vital role. And this entire talk is about how we have transformed Times of India Archives and Knowledge Center from physical era to digital era. So I'm going to present a kind of a case study of the work relating to those 7 principles which I explained. Okay, that's how we'll take this presentation ahead. And what is the need for transforming library services? Mr. Satyanara talked about evolution. If you sit just like that, I'm sure the book cover that I'm showing, Who Moved My Cheese, everyone in the audience must have read this book at least once. Right? If you sit idle without doing anything, it's a metaphor. Things will vanish. Same is the case with libraries also. If you're only sitting with physical libraries telling that I got 1 lakh books and this many bound volumes, this many resources, nobody's going to bother. Today, you can have any kind of resources. It doesn't matter. How much of your library resources are being put to good use, that is what matters. That is where we need to evolve and we need to transform. And people are now getting used to information anywhere, anytime. You can't tell your people you have to physically walk into a library and get access to the material. They may be sitting in their bathroom. I'm not joking. There are times people want to read something sitting in the bathroom and things like that. 24/7 online access helps them. Maybe reading an e-paper or reading a journal, maybe reading a fiction. So that is how we need to make, give access to the resources. And also today, we are talking about remote working, remote teaching, remote learning, and remote training. You don't have to go to campus to learn anything today. Because after COVID, even before COVID also, it was already there. During COVID time, people got used to this. So they don't want to come back again. So long as you can give very good access wherever they are, anything can be done. Which is the biggest challenge, again, for libraries, how to cope up with this situation. And again, even in corporate sector like us, we are flexible today, hybrid work. We can work from home, we can work from any other cities also, wherever we are. Today I'm in Chennai, I can still connect to my office and work, which I did in the morning also. I need to send an update, which I have done, and I come here. So that is also happening now. And also when you transform the library services, it should not be just a librarian thinks that I want to do this. It has to be linked with your parent organization overall business objectives. Tomorrow I'm creating a new database in Times of India Archives. It should match my organization business objectives. Some users are supposed to come and use the resources. Only then it can be successful. Just like that, it cannot be done. Now, coming back to this, in the initial slide, I said there are 7 areas which I want to touch upon. First one is being core philosophy of your library. Why this library exists, first of all. IMSC library or IIT library or IIM library or Times of India library. There is a philosophy behind this. Then who are all the customers you are supposed to take care, and what is their information needs and information seeking behavior, how it is changing. We should have a tab on that. And what kind of smart access we can facilitate to various content that is available, be it a physical resource, electronic resource, digitized resource, born digital content that are available. Then we need to look into bringing convergence of LIS facilities, your online databases, library automation, access tool, digitization tools. We need to think about that. I'll explain one by one when I go to the next slide. Then cost, I already talked about. We need to have a control on the cost. Whether you may work for a central government organization like this institute, or I'm working for a corporate house, tomorrow somebody's in an academic setup, we have to have a control on costs. Then we need to, having put so much money and resources and efforts, we need to have effective communication tool to reach out to our users. Otherwise, we will fail miserably. Then finally, we need to have very good, whether it's a small team or a big team, we need to have highly skilled, competent people in our library setup. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to survive in the coming days. Now, first one, C1, I said, be clear on your library's core philosophy. I'm giving example TAKC, Times Archives and Knowledge Center. What is our vision, our library's vision? To have a centralized mass media library and archival facility for the Times Group. That is our mission, because we have all over India, abroad also, we've got our employees. This is the central facility for them. What is our mission? To act as a value-added knowledge center for company-wide information users from editorial departments, business division, and other support functions. So I already defined my user groups also here. Then what are all our objectives? The first objective being as a corporate library and archive for our media house. Second objective is to offer on-demand business information services, which means people will ask for information, you should be ready to support them. Third objective is to provide proactive information services. Sitting in a media house, I can't wait for my library users to come. I need to know in anticipation, I need to compile certain things and send it to them in advance. It could be about a current affair that's happening. It could be a marketing plan which they are working on, so I need to keep a track of that. Then making my company future ready. How that can happen? I need to keep on alerting them with new kind of information resources. Whatever is happening in the market, it should reach them wherever they are. That's why my company can become future ready. And also finally, since we are a media archives, Mr. Satyanarayan would agree with me, we need to monetize our archival content as well. Today, if you want to access the entire Times of India archives, you need to pay for it. So that is also the job that we do so that we can add value to the organization. That was the first C. Second C is know your customers. Going back to Times of India archives, you may want to know who are all our users. The first column in my presentation says users' knowledge domains. Main group is like editorial, all journalists, those who are working for Times of India group, they are our first users. Second is brand management and media and publishing. Most of them are from IIMs and leading business schools. Our marketing team is one of the biggest team in the country in media houses. Then we have advertising and marketing sales team. Circulation and readership, people who circulate the newspapers in the market. It's a sales team. They also part of our organization. And in multi-cities, we have got production and printing facilities. Paper has to be printed, be it Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. So we have got a huge, big setup and big team of people working for production and printing. Then, of course, HRM and learning and development team, accounts, finance, like any other organization, ICT applications team, infrastructure and facilities who take care of our premises and facilities, and company affairs and legal in media, that is also important. Then what are the information needs they have? Editorial content, anything that is published in media, news, views, opinion, articles, and all those stuff. Ad spend data for advertising team, brand and product profiles, who is launching a new product, what's happening in the market, and things like that. Then customer monitoring and consumer insights. That is also important for our marketing team to go through. Even journalists, those who are working for a business paper like Economic Times and things like, they also need this information. Then we also need to have supply chain, because it's a kind of a relay race, printing a newspaper and circulating. A lot of work is taking place. We need to keep a tab of what's happening in the market. Then legal and government information, because tomorrow somebody can file a case against us, maybe some information is published wrong and things like that, so we need to keep a track on that as well. Then HR, IT, and LIS support system. And what are our major sources? All newspapers, of course, magazines and journals, books, and even book summaries are a vital information source for our employees here. And e-paper and e-magazines that are available online. And industry sector reports, because we work in multiple industry verticals, FMCG, automobiles, car, this and that. TV channel websites, government reports, consulting companies, and then social media sites. Of course, there are some blogs and things like that, very well written by some experts, which we track and share. And C3, which is facilitate smart and innovative access to high-quality contents. I already said who are all our users, what information they need, and what sources we have. Next comes how to facilitate access to. So which is why I'm talking about smart access. Over the years, Times of India Group, as a leading media organization, we invested heavily on technology, be it our printing facilities, be it setting up an archives like this. So to begin with, I can proudly say that Times of India is a newspaper from 1838 to 2004. We have digitized the entire collection. This is the first newspaper from India which is available on ProQuest as part of historical newspaper collection. We have digitized our entire newspaper. Then born digital newspapers from 2004 onwards. You can log into e-paper archive, whether it is TOI or ET or any other publication that is available. Then we also have a huge collection of photographs, because photographs are bread and butter for any media organization. Like we have got more than a million hard copy pictures. We select them and digitize and make it available through a system. I'll show the screenshot of that as well. Then we have started offering, when we have all these resources, to our internal users, online information services. To begin with, through our intranet, we send it through email, we send it through WhatsApp and things like that proactively. And since March 2020, that is the time when COVID came in, we had a big challenge because multi-city people, thousands of employees across India, thanks to the innovation that we already did, we could very well connect with our people anywhere, wherever they were. So they could bring out newspapers online to begin with, then physical copies came back again. This screenshot on the left-hand side, what you are seeing here is old photographs digitized. Okay, it says Comian is a product name, German product which we have taken. And you can digitize, upload your image with metadata tagging, so people can retrieve, whether it is a film personality, whether it is some individual or any occasion, event, anything, you can search it. On the right-hand side here, color images are born digital photographs from 2004. Our people will go with a digital camera, the content comes in color and born digital, which is also available through the same system. This is an example of digitizing Times of India digital archives on ProQuest. Here where you can see the cursor here. Then of course you all are familiar with our e-paper archives, which is available. Limited content free. If you want to go back, you need to subscribe it. By the way, I'm not selling my e-paper archive here. I'm just giving information about that. Now just quickly run through the way we process our information queries within the organization. There are five simple steps which I wanted to share here. First thing is identification of the information needs of our users in a scientific way. As library professionals, we all are familiar with that. Second is like identification of information and knowledge sources. The ones we know their need, we need to put the resources together. Then select, collect, process, and curate and synthesize the way it can be used by our user groups. Be a journalist, be a business guy. So we need to put the content in a structured way so that they can make use of it. Then step 4 is sharing the knowledge, maybe via email, or they can bring their pen drive and take it if they are sitting in the same building. We can send it on WhatsApp. Maybe I can upload it on my intranet and they can download, whichever way. Then once service is delivered, we also wait for that feedback. Because it's a corporate, we can't afford to take chances. It's a continuous cycle. If the feedback comes positive, it's fine. If they want more information, again, we can give in. The next slide, I elaborated this. I'm not going to explain everything. I'm sure seminar organizers will make this presentation available for people. So I thought, let it be more elaborative so that you can take a copy and read it. So the first step I said, what way we can identify the information needs? I'll just give an example. Sometimes it's one-to-one. Some people walk in and to my center and they say that we are doing this project. Can you give this information? Second could be I can get an email saying that I'm looking for information on these companies and these brands and these profiles. Can you put all these resources? Sometimes you just get a WhatsApp message, Venkat, I'm going for an urgent meeting. Can you share some information on this topic? So more than one way we get access to. Then we put the resources, as I explained, together. Then we think in which way it can reach quickly, by email or WhatsApp or through our intranet, or whatever is already available in our archives, whether that can be given a link to them and things like that. And every day, it is a day in and out day, a big challenge for us. Because we work in 24/7, media works in 24/7 all the time. So our people have to be available only limited hours, so online facilities are the vital tool for us. And while doing that within the media organization, we also need to brand our own services. Like, I need to sell the product that I'm within the organization itself. They are our internal customers. I've got some couple of interesting names. The first one says TAKC Current News. I got a baseline also. It's a daily dossier. It's a daily compilation of news reports from various competitive media sources. By 1 o'clock, it will reach my entire Times of India group team all over India. They can get access to, without going to 20 newspapers and 50 newspapers, they get one single update from my team so that they get to know what's going on in the market. TAKC ad service, nothing but tracking competitive media ads that are getting published. It could be an ad about Hindustan Times. It could be an ad about brand building ad about Financial Express. It could be about any other media house. We track and share. Business Buzz is nothing but what's happening in the market. It could be about a new product launch, new companies being bought over by some other company, because every business activity results in advertising business to our media house. So we need to keep a track of that. Sector select is compilation of industry sector information. It could be on passenger cars, it could be on airline industry, it could be on telecom industry, what's going on. So we need to compile and share it to industry vertical people within the organization. TAKC light read is nothing but some informative articles which can add value to your people. It could be about communication skill, it could be on learning and development and things like that. Then books now is, a lot of e-books are available now, open access e-books. So we identify those books relevant to our user groups. We curate them and send it. I'll show some of the screenshots of that as well. And plenty of podcasts are available today. You can identify highly relevant podcasts. For example, like our professor talking about a mathematical science from IMSC will be relevant to many of the people. So I'm just giving that as an example. We can identify good and relevant podcasts and make it available to your use in a structured way. Plenty of expert talks are available on YouTube. So you can select them and curate them and share it. Then Scholar Zone is nothing but like open access books. You have got open access scholarly articles are available. You don't have to subscribe anything. You can identify them, so, put it in a structured way, it will reach. Then white papers on any industry or any segment. It's written by experts and group of people and consultants. So this can also become a vital resource. And you can see there is a brand name. There is a tagline for each product. That's how it is coming. The next screen you can see, this is the logo for each of every new service that we offer. TAKC Ad Serve, it says, your advantage. TAKC Business Buzz, abundance of opportunities. TAKC Mind stands for Market Intelligence and News Digest. I'm saying instant knowledge. When people are ready to have instant food, why can't you offer them instant knowledge? That is the idea. When you read that, you don't have to go through 20 different articles at length. You get a digest. Scholar Zone, I'm saying best of knowledge. So this is how I branded the services internally. So my end users, when they receive, they know what exactly they are getting. Okay? I can call it as branded information services within a corporate organization. These are all some of the screenshots I will quickly run through. Current news goes this way. Like business and economy, politics and governance, society and culture, sports and entertainment. And you are seeing the headline, and I'm just giving an hyperlink. There is no copyright issue here. If they are interested, they can just click and get on with this. Which means end up by 1 o'clock, about 200 important news items goes across India, about 10,000 employees. They don't have to spend that much time. Within, maybe while during lunch break itself, they can run through like what they need to do for the next day. Next is articles. Articles from various leading magazines, be it India Today, Outlook, or any other magazines, we identify them. Like, what is the article title, intro given by the author, then hyperlink to that. If they are interested, they can always click and go. So which means they need not go through 20 different magazines physically. It's available for them, already curated properly. And these are all like competitive media ads, which I already talked about. You can see the ad image, as well as it says Business Standard, Deccan Herald, India Today. These are all competitive brands. Ads about them, that is useful for my marketing and brand team. Business Buzz, I already talked about. Our marketing team, advertising team works in my industry verticals, starting from apparel to tourism. These are the number of stories that are available during that period. There's a small digest about what is that story is all about. Just click and go to the full text. Directly they can, without spending much time, they can go. And TAKC Mind is similar to that. Identify the relevant news item, create a digest about that particular story. It could be about a brand launch, or some company wants to buy something, or they want to get into a new business tie-up. Then give a link to an hyperlink, then it goes. Ideas blog. There, as I talked about, for example, a professor from this institute or an IIM or IIT writing a blog, he is putting his scholarly knowledge into that. It's a vital resource. He may not be publishing an article that blogs can be identified. You can curate. I'm just giving what is the blog title, who has written it, what is the source, and you are just giving an hyperlink. Then some brief information about that blog and what key points discussed. So that my colleague sitting in, a senior management colleague or somebody sitting there, he need not go through the entire thing. If time permits, he can click and read. At least he gets a digest of that. So this is what is a curated, like synthesized content that we are sharing. Health Watch, because everybody wants to keep their health alive. So sitting in library, we track some of the news reports and articles that are relevant on heart care, be it on diabetes, stress management, mental wellness, and whatever. So every week, we send an update to all our team across India, so they can go through this. These are all coming from authentic source, not like we need to verify them, whether it is relevant, whether it will be useful, and things like that. And books now. This is an example of a screenshot. This is a bad belief. This is an open access book available. Again, here you are giving metadata things like book title, byline, who is the publisher, and DOI link, as well as PDF link to download the book. And there's a content page also below. As you scroll the page, you can see the entire content. Scholar Zone, again, scholarly article picked up from public domain sources. All relevant topic matching with our business interest. Mainly for learning and development of our employees, we share this. Again, you have got metadata, article title, what is the source, your typical structure with an hyperlink to download PDF as well as additional resources. Tube Talk, I talked about multiple videos are available online. You can pick up some of the relevant videos, curate them, and tell who is giving the talk, what is the link, and what are the key insights. In case if they don't have time to go through 20 minutes video, at least in 5 minutes they will come to know this video, this is the content that is available. Podcast is also similar way. Identify a relevant podcast, give them the relevant bibliographical details, give a gist of what is the podcast is all about, what are the key insights coming from that. White paper, similar structure. You are seeing a template here, right? It goes in the same way so that users are familiar with the way we do very consistently. Again, we started doing book summaries as well because our people don't have time to go through the entire book. So there are some interesting books which can be used widely within the organization. We identify those books, create summaries, and share with. I'm sure some of you have already seen this book, Stolen Focus. It's talking about how people are losing focus in the digital era, how reading can help people. That's the topic here. So this is useful to most of the people in the organization. I'm just showing an example. And again, we share knowledge instantly through WhatsApp, through email, and things like that. In fact, last evening, my last update was around 11:30 to my colleagues. This morning, my first update through WhatsApp was around 5 a.m. in the morning. So this is a typical screenshot for business people. This is editorial guys. When they get current news update on their mobile, it will look like this on the third screen. It says about 224 items covering business, economy to sports and entertainment during that day. And we also use our archives whenever we want to celebrate our company's success and things like that. Somewhere in 2013, Times have been completed 175 years. We used our archives to come out with multiple books, theme-based books on Bollywood and editorials and cartoons collection and various themes. So archives also put to good use to promote our own organizational interest. And a lot of people from outside also come and do research and come out with books and things like that. We give access to them. And if you may have a question like what type of information sources are shared, I just created a graph through our MIS from 2016 to 2022. If you look at, mostly business information is dominating here, like company profiles, ad spend data, sector reports, news reports goes to editorial. When you come to typical library like books, journals, only 3%. Why? Because media organization, they are not only dependent on books, they need a lot of primary sources to do their journalism work as well as to do their business. That's how the distribution is. Now coming to the point number 4, C4, I talked about convergence. In order to have a successful library facility in this digital era, you need to have 6 different elements coming together. That is where if you want to see a happy user here, if you want to make him happy, you need to have a conducive organizational environment first. That is the first one, like Times of India Group, which always encourages library team to give very good access to people. We believe knowledge is power. Right? That is how the organization gives support. Then good number of LIS professionals, highly skilled people. That is how the second thing. Third one is high quality information sources you need to have matching with your users' information needs. Fourth one is space and facilities. You need to have physical library facilities. You need to have facilities for accessing your digital resources. Wherever they are there, this has to come together. Then high quality ICT tools. Having resources will not support. Unless you have got high-quality tools, I gave an example of photo archives, e-paper, digital archives, then various communication tools that we are using, be it our email, intranet, and WhatsApp. This has to come together. Then you need to have a high-quality LIS supply chain. Like people like informatics and other resource providers, we need to collaborate with them, book suppliers, and things like that. When all these 6 things come together, converging together, that is how we can give successful library services, which is why I put this visual symbolically. Because library users, they always want to be happy. You can't disappoint them, whether you are working for an academic setup or a corporate setup like mine. Fifth C is have complete control on costs. Initially, I talked about costs. Even though I work for a leading media house, every single day I'm supposed to justify why I'm spending. Why do you need such a team? Why do you need all these resources? Can you justify this? So that is through our services and deliveries, and we justify it. So what kind of costs? First cost will be information sources, of course, very expensive these days. LIS, manpower, getting high-quality people in a corporate house, any organization, we need to pay that kind of money. Infrastructure facilities, we need to think about. Technology tools and others like training and communication, etc. These are the costs on one side. That is CapEx as well as operational expenditure. How do you justify existence of your organization? In the initial stage, you talked about the relevance of libraries today. You need to justify why your organization spends so much money on a setup like TAKC or IMS library here. First is a notional commercial value of the services, sources acquired and preserved for the organization. Because organizations are just throwing money. We procure and acquire and preserve them. That is the first justification. Second is the notional commercial value of the services that we offer to our end users. Suppose if this library is not there, your users are going to get access to this. How much they will pay? So we need to work out that. And direct value addition to the organization in learning and development. And indirect value addition to the company in terms of brand building and other activities. Value additions of other functions, support function. We not only take care of editorial and business function, we also support other activities within the organization. That is also one justification. Finally, direct income. Like I talked about content monetization. Now, Times of India is available through ProQuest. Income comes, we sell our photographs, we sell our archival content to third parties to make movies and things like that. These are the 5 justifications you can tell people, because everywhere money is not coming. You need to say this is how the value is getting generated. That's how you can survive, which is why I said it's a survival story also. Now, I talked about communication tools are important. The 6th C is communication tools. First is face-to-face communication with your users has to be always very cordial, email and WhatsApp, web-enabled online demos and things like that. Group presentations, whenever we launch a product, wherever it's possible, we give a group presentation either through Team Room or one in-person presentation and things like that. Then we also do kind of a road shows. Whenever I get a chance to go to visit another office or people visiting our place, we tell them this is the kind of facilities that we have, this is how we can make use and things like that. And whenever you start a service, you need to have a kind of a communication material which says what is this service is all about, how it will be useful for you, how you can make use of this, and in case if you are not able to use it, how you can come back to us. So whether it's an email or a flyer or a brochure, whatever we do, it should be very effective. That's how you can, reach out to your users. Then the last C is like competence and skills. We all know, to begin with, we all need to have LIS core skills, what we learned from LIS schools. Then we need to know knowledge mapping. Suppose you are working for a media house, I need to immediately know where are all our brands, which are all our brands, what type of information users that I have, what knowledge they need, that kind of skill we need to have. Of course, we need to have customer service orientation, IT knowledge, and things like that. I'm not going to read out everything. Last 3 are more important for us. As library professionals, I can proudly say that we need to have, first of all, compassion for our users. They are highly tensed. My journalist, he is already having a deadline. He wants to get something, I need to think, I need to support him. Second is like passion for what we do. If you don't like your job, you cannot work in libraries. Because it is a thankless job. I can say humbly, because people want information and support. They thank you, but you don't expect so much. And finally, love for librarianship. If you don't like this field, let's get out from this and do something else. Otherwise, we can't survive here. This is important. Then we also need to have admin skills and things like that. We are like everywhere, all-rounders. Library people are all-rounder. We not only manage our libraries, we need to take care of technology. We need to work with communication people and things like that. And more importantly, our approach towards users. We need to understand their information needs in a scientific way, not only like day-to-day basis, and all other things related. And we need to be technical experts in whatever we learned, whether it is library acquisition, classification, catalogs, which we continue to do even in this modern era as well. And also like technical input, like Mr. Satyanarayan said, library automation, e-resources. We need to manage our library website, online services. Now library web apps have come, mobile apps have been created. So we need to be up to date. Of course, AI is going to challenge us the way Google used to challenge. Though we survived that, I'm sure we will continue to survive. But the only thing, we need to upgrade our own skills also matching with what's happening in the market. Which is why I created this gas balloon symbolically, what you are seeing. Gas balloon is normally with only one balloon. I put multiple balloon. We need to play multiple role. Everywhere gas has to be there. Otherwise, somewhere we will crash. Now, some of the best practices. How many minutes I have? 5 minutes, okay. Some of the best practices, just to summarize here, I'm sure it works everywhere. We need to select, collect, and preserve information resources and facilitate access in 24/7. Today, people are not talking about, my office timings are only 9 to 5 and things like that. You should be ready to support them. That is the first thing which we do. Otherwise, we can't survive. And develop whatever it should be world-class. You should benchmark with some of the best things that are available. I've given you a couple of examples, the way we share our content with our people. I'm sure you are also doing the same thing at your end. And we need to update ourselves, self-knowledge, as well as we need to educate our library users also. Like Sir was giving an example, he was directing somebody to go to the library, go to the bound volume section and things like that. Somehow we need to tell our library users that resources are available in physical libraries also. This is how we need to access. Even electronic resources, it may be there hundreds of them. Unless you tell them, unless you train them, they are not going to come and use. And we need to collaborate with LIS faculties, I mean to say libraries and department everywhere, wherever it is possible, because there what they teach, industry knowledge is missing, practical knowledge is missing, though a lot of seminars and workshops are there. In fact, today's event is also like that. We are having a seminar here to share our knowledge. We need to do that. And what are the benefits? Some of the important benefits are facilitating new ideas. Being in a corporate house, meeting in a media house, if my department is not helping my colleagues to think about new, innovative way and whatever they do, then I don't have a business to run my department. That is the first benefit. Second is facilitating new ideas, knowledge addition within the organization. Somebody talked about organizational memory. Whatever we do, whatever we accumulate, whatever we archive, it adds to our organizational memory within the Times of India group, and it helps in new business development. Corporate houses are supposed to create, not only sustain the existing business, they are supposed to do new business also. We are helping in that. And we have created a conducive 24/7 environment. People did not bother. Venkat is today in Chennai, tomorrow in Bangalore. It doesn't matter. Whatever they need, they will get it. That is what we have done. And it also helps in e-learning, remote learning, and online access, online learning. People can learn from anywhere today with the kind of facilities that we have. And also it improves the productivity of my library team. They need not run through physical material and things like that. They are also smart enough to, when we have smart users, we have got small library staff also, smart people. And also it has increased the overall excellence in library services. In fact, I can proudly say that more than internal users, we always get requests from outsiders, researchers, filmmakers, and legal experts and things like that. They want to visit Times of India archives, get access to our archival collection for their work. That's how it works. There are days people used to wait outside our building to get an appointment and come in because we need to have limited hours because our entire office is busy. And this is the most important slide, like issues. I'm sure you all have the similar issues. Even though I'm coming from a corporate leading media house, we still have problem because whenever organization corporate policy changes, the first cut comes to is the library and facilities like this. Second is our users are also living in an island of information. Some people are only focused on the area what they work. I may send them 10 updates. Venkat, it's okay, it's fine, but give me what I want only. You're getting the point. So they are concerned with that. And users changing information needs. Today somebody is working on one project, then he will move on to another project. They won't even communicate, saying that in a hurry, like we need to keep a track of that. And in most organizations, HR also plays, particularly in corporate. They also support learning and development activities. They also support libraries, which is also missing here and there. And increasing cost of LIS resources, which everybody knows, which we also go through. And getting adequate LIS manpower. There are times we had a couple of vacancies. Even to recruit a proper person, you may not get. That is also there. Getting sanction per manpower is one issue. Identifying a good person to work for us, that is also another issue which we need to handle. And even today, users, you may have a fantastic library facility, good ambience and everything. People don't have time. I don't have time. Venkat, is it possible? Can somebody send this? There are occasions within the office, people say, this book can be taken from our desk? Can you imagine that kind of things? So we need to support them. And last but not least, one of the major issues we all go through while giving online information services and digital access is copyright issues. Today, in a modern world, people think copying is right. They're right. You don't bother about copyright. You send one information on WhatsApp, it goes to 10 different people within no time. There are times during this COVID, you must have seen complete e-books coming through WhatsApp. It's a copyright violation. People don't care. So we should not get into that. That's our job to tell. You don't violate copyright and things like that. And also rapidly changing ICT tools. I had shown you a couple of screenshots of photo archives and things like that. They also come out with new version, new variation, things like that. We need to update immediately ourselves, train our people. So these challenges are there everywhere. In conclusion, see, today we all know about there is something called embedded librarianship. I'm sure many of you have heard the term. What is embedded librarianship? If you work for an organization, you need to fully involve yourself, not just as a library staff. You need to know everything that is a business interest of your organization. If I'm in a media house, I need to know where my company is moving today, what information they need, who are all my people. So I can get involved. That is how all those services I have designed. You saw all those examples. I am part of the organization. In anticipation, I can keep on sending some information resources. And also, it is advisable for library professionals today. Anything that you design should be user-friendly. No need to have fancy screens, this, that, and jazzy things. It should be useful. It should be like your Google search screen. Just search, you get on with something. Similarly, you need to design something and make it available. And the examples that I've already cited here, in fact, I can proudly say that Even before I joined in 2006, Times of India used to have one of the fantastic media library in the country. It was already 170 years old or something. I've been working there for almost last 16 years or so. We have added value to what was already there. In fact, ours was the first media house to produce microfilms. We have newspapers in print volumes. We have in microfilm. We have got in digital archive also today. So that the way technology evolved, we also evolved. So we are only upgrading it to the next level. And those 7 C's that I've explained, I put it here again. In order to be successful in this digital era, as library professionals, we need to stick on to our core philosophy of our library, why it exists, who are all our customers, we need to keep a track. We need to give high quality access to content, what we have. And I talked about the convergence of 6 elements, bringing them together, make your library user happier. And we need to have a control on our cost. We need to justify why the money is being spent. What are the cost benefits that are coming to the organization? We need to clearly tell that as well. We need to use effective communication tools to reach out to our users and communicate and share and facilitate access to. Simultaneously, we need to upgrade the skills and competencies of our own people. Without that, we cannot survive. And just the last one line, which I thought before I conclude I can say here is, in this AI era, like if you want to survive in this AI era, what is our simple philosophy? There are 3 I's which I have put. First I is we need to innovate. Every single day is a challenge for us. We need to think in an innovative way, how we can add more value to our parent organization where our library exists in an innovative way. That is first thing. Second is inform our users in a timely way. Sometimes they will come to you for asking for information. Sometimes you need to reach out to them in a proactive way. Inform them why you need to do this to innovate and inform, because you want to inspire your library users. Tomorrow somebody can do a fantastic PhD work from this institute. Tomorrow my company can win my colleague can go and win a new business for my company. From IIM, some professor can do something else. Another university somebody can do. So our job is to innovate, inform, and inspire. That is where we can transform our physical library facilities in the digital era and continue to be successful in whatever we do in our new endeavors. Thank you very much. I hope this presentation was useful. Maybe I was a bit faster while talking. If you have got any questions, I can answer. Otherwise, I'm available 24/7 wherever you want to. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the excellent presentation. Is there any questions?
It was an excellent talk.
Thank you.
I just have one question. Under the Times group, you have the archive and you have the print media, and you also have Times Now.
Right.
That's TV media. Is there any connect between these two?
They share our old archival content. For example, some of the historical material. Times Now has got their archival content ever since it was launched. Say there was a Mumbai bomb blast somewhere in the long back. If they want to come out with a story on that, they will come to our archives and get access. It's interlinked. So they can get to our newspaper archives, they can access our old photographs, they can get access to our cartoons collection and things like that. If they want to do a historical research, they have to come to us only. I can't say they, we all are same. So that's how it is.
Yeah. A lot of time what happens, you listen to some,
Yes.
It's all sound bites on TV.
Right.
And you never get a complete clarity on the story.
Everybody wants to break the news first,
Yeah.
and then arrest.
Only when you read the morning newspaper, you get a better clarity on what really happened.
Yeah, it's on the fly, because we are the first one. You must have seen the scroll goes. We are the first channel to show this and that. That's a media thing. But always they need to do a background research, anything to do with historical thing. So that's why our digital archive helps. For example, I gave the Times of India request. Anywhere from anywhere they can get access to. Similarly, photographs also. Any other questions?
Thank you. So I was just curious about what the Times Group's plan is for their physical archive. So because there's more than a century of actual physical material, right? So what's the Times Group's plan for the physical archive?
Yeah, very good question. We already started. It's not planned. We have implemented the plan already. We have digitized the Times of India as a main publication. The first issue came in November 3rd, 1838. We are now currently 185 years old. From 1838 to 2004, we have already digitized our entire archival collection of newspapers to begin with. Related photographs have been digitized. And media archives also had huge collection of press clippings tracked from competitive media. Maybe clippings from Hindu, Hindustan Times on any topic. It's like a supermarket for information. We have digitized them as well. Only thing that we need to digitize is publication like Economic Times, business newspaper. It's in microfilm, in bound volume. We will be digitizing them. From 2004 onwards, everything is available in bound digital format. So digitization work is an ongoing thing. Currently, we are digitizing a regional newspaper called Maharashtra Times, which is also there for the last 50 years also. That work is going on. Because you can't do simultaneously. It's a huge investment is there. It's not so easy. So we will be digitizing the entire collection while we continue to maintain the physical collection microfilm for posterity. We are nothing like maintaining the originals. We have got an archives in a 24/7 air-conditioned place in a remote location, not in the main office where I work from. So that is a must for us because that's our intellectual property.
Yeah, because you said that space is a problem.
Yeah, space.
Right?
In fact, I forgot to tell about while explaining the problems. I had about 10,000 square feet in a main building in Times of India building in CST office. About 3 years back, I had to surrender the entire space because the business was getting developed. New activities are coming up in the same place. It's a prime location. Every square centimeter matters in Mumbai. So then we found a place in our printing press in one of the remote locations. We created a standard place and shifted everything. This is one of the ongoing challenge. The first thing comes is always for a library and archives, you've got a big place surrender. I'm sure that must be common with most places except academic campuses. In corporate, it's very difficult to hold a place. Yeah, good question.
Thank you, wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
In your digital archives from 1838, are they all like in an OCR format where you can search them?
Yes.
And do they have metadata like of the articles and topic? Can we discover the topic by searching through them?
Yes. See, I gave an example saying it's available part of ProQuest historical newspaper collection. When you digitize a newspaper, there are a set of metadata elements, right from your title to headline to byline to intro to if there is a picture and caption and things like that. So this is digitized based on that standard. For example, you can do a search by giving Mahatma Gandhi and Dandi March. Okay? So it will throw all news items that are available in Times of India as a digital archive. Since it is digitized from microfilm as a source, OCR quality will be about 80%. Unlike a bond digital content, you have got 100% quality of text digitization. In this, about 80%. But which is good enough. Which is why I said I gave an example. Researchers always used to come to us for doing research work, PhD and thing. Any topic you name, you'll find some content in Times of India archives.
Are some parts open access?
No. That is what we cannot give. Unless what you are seeing in timesofindia.com as a public domain website, maybe from 2000 onwards, limited content is available, then it will, if you want a premium content, you have to subscribe for it. Initially, I said I'm not selling my paper archives. Okay? But of course, for students, there is a concession. If you want to get as if you are a PhD scholar, you come with a letter from your institution, you can always get access to. If there are no questions, thank you. Once again, I want to congratulate my friend Paul Pondian for his exemplary career. And thanks for inviting me here, Paul. Thank you.